So what does the community think about this whole shakeup? By and large, they say it's a win. A group of nearly 250 religious leaders telling our Kaylee Gunderson Quinlan's demotion as chief is long overdue. And before news of his resignation hit last night, they plan to deliver a letter to City Hall on Monday demanding his ouster.
He couldn't make the necessary changes from his position after 30 years in the department.
Reverend Dr. Tim Ahrens disappointed with Tom Quinlan since he was chosen for the job over candidate Perry Tarrant, former assistant chief of Seattle PD.
And I was shocked watching the two side by side that they chose Quinlan. It said to me that after a national search, in the end, the mayor didn't trust his instincts or didn't trust what all the rest of us were witnessing.
He said his distrust in Quinlan grew over the summer with how peaceful protesters were treated.
The highest elected officials who are African American within our community were pepper sprayed and treated badly. And I never saw an apology from Quinlan or Ginther in the press to them directly at that time. I thought that was horrific.
And following the investigation into the deputy-involved shooting of Casey Goodson Jr. and the death of Andre Hill, shot by a Columbus police officer. Community organizer Jasmine Ayers questioning why Quinlan is only being demoted.
Who was making the calls to be super aggressive and sometimes violent towards protesters? And if that was him, right, that happened on his watch, then I think the calls for his firing are warranted.
She wants to see candidates of color considered to lead the division of police, especially women.
I obviously am inclined to think a woman of color is able to get the job done. I want somebody who has a history of being open to reform in their previous positions and stand up to the FOP. There are some officers that do not need to be retained.
And someone who has a long history of police service, but not here.
But I think that we need someone fresh and new who hasn't been inundated in our culture who can come and make some changes.